Okay, a blessed day, everyone. Welcome to our lecture video. So this lecture video is intended for students taking up the course Introduction to the English Language System. However, this video may also benefit students who are taking any course related to language, like stylistics. Okay, so since we will be talking about linguistics or language, the scientific study of language is called linguistics. And how to have a systematic study of language? Simple. We will only go through from the very minimal feature of language to the very vital feature. So what is the minimal? Of course, the sound units or the production and perception of sounds. Uh, and then the very vital is the meaning of language in context. So what are the disciplines of linguistics that we need to go through in order to have a linguistic analysis? Okay, so first we have the first discipline, phonetics. Phonetics, what is phonetics? It is the study of the production and perception of speech sound. So it's more on production and perception. There are three subdisciplines of phonetics. First is the articulatory phonetics. It is more on the production of speech sounds and how you produce the sounds like ah, for bag, matter, and then O for hotel. Another is uh, B for boy. So it is on the production of speech sounds. Next is acoustic phonetics. It deals with the physical production and transmission of speech sounds. So we will go specific to the mechanism of the production. For example, the interdental sounds like so actually that sound is voiceless, but I'm trying to emphasize. So we also have the fricatives like for the word. What word can we use? Like thrifty, no? Thrifty. So the sound is interdental. So if we focus on the physical production, that's acoustic phonetics. We also have bilabial sounds like mother, mommy, no, like we have alveolar, no, t, d. So we also have how do you call that? Palatal, no? So we will go deeper into that in the future. So when you say also auditory phonetics, that's a study of the perception of speech sound. So how you hear the sounds. So second discipline, we have phonology. What is phonology? It is the study of sound patterns of language. It is concerned with how sounds are organized in a language. Phonology examines what occurs to speech sounds when they are combined to form a word and how these speech sounds interact with each other. It endeavors to explain what these phonological processes are in terms of formal rules, because there are speech sounds that will behave in accordance to the sounds surrounding them. For example, the word table. So the sound or that is aspirated in the word table, like table, because it is in the initial part of the word. However, if it's not the initial, like study, so the sound is not aspirated since it follows another consonant sound. So the blending of sound, the combination of sound patterns and how they behave in a certain word. For example, there are a lot of examples like uh, different. So there is a behavior since it is between two consonants. There is a blending that's called liaison. For example, another example is, instead of saying uh, did you eat, did you eat, you'll say digit. So again, it is the study of sound patterns of language. It is concerned how sounds are organized in the language. So sounds may behave differently in accordance to the sounds surrounding them. So one can be the same sound may be aspirated in this word but may not be aspirated in another word. Another example of aspirated sounds is in, for example, pa, pattern. So instead of uh, the word is actually voiceless again, no, voiceless, because the voice bilabial is the b, b. So that's voiceless. But when you use it in a word, that's already aspirated if it's in the initial, like pattern, pattern. So there is an extra effort, there's an extra air that you exerted upon saying that word pattern. However, if you say it's a trap, you don't say it's a trap. No, the letter P in the last part of that word will not be aspirated since it's not an initial. So as simple as that. It's under phonology. Next, we have morphology. It is the study of word formation and structure. It studies how words are put together from their smaller parts and the rules governing this process. The elements that are combining to form words are called morphemes. A morpheme is the smallest unit or meaning you can have in a language. The word cat, for example, contains morphemes cat and the plural s. So there are a lot of word formation processes that you are encountering in your daily day-to-day conversations. However, it is very unnoticeable when we are conversing, but actually there are a lot of word formation processes we did in our conversations, like clipping, blending. For example, uh, the word webinar, no? From website and seminar, the clipping is done in website, and then seminar also is being clipped, and then the two clipped words are blended, so it ended up with the word webinar. So the word formation processes is under morphology. So don't forget that a morpheme is the smallest unit of meaning you can have in a language, like in the word cat. So there are two morphemes in the word cat. First is the cat. So there is a meaning in that word. It's an animal that may be your favorite pet. And then the second is S. So it's just a single unit, no, it's a very simple unit, S, but it brings an impact to the meaning of the word. Since there is an added S, meaning there are a lot or more than one cat. So there is an implied meaning to the attached S to the word cat. That's why it is it is considered another unit of meaning, smallest unit of meaning. So, or a morpheme. Going back to phonology, phonology also considers the intonations of a certain region or a certain group of people. For example, in Cebu, you can really differentiate people from Cebu City from people in the south, from Argao, Dalagat, Alcoy, Oslob. So, like for example, in Cebu City, it's quite like mad. For example, uh, asam kabay, but in no, it's not asam ang kabay na. It's in the south. So it's city. Uh, adto ko sa mall, no? Adto ko sa mall, malit kog kanang sapatos. But asa man ka matug. So the intonation, the accent is different. So that's under phonology. But in the south, asa kabay. So still under phonology. That's an interesting topic soon if you want to conduct a research. So another example also is for Hiligaynons, no? A story. One person went to Canada and then they are or he is conversing with a pure Canadian, and then eventually the Canadian said that you are from Iloilo, Philippines. You are from Iloilo, Philippines, I know. And uh, then the person from Iloilo asked the Canadian, "How did you know that how did you know that I am from Iloilo?" So the accent itself or the intonation itself of the Hiligaynon made the Canadian conclude that that person is from Iloilo, Philippines. So the intonation of the communicator or the intonation of an individual may depict the culture, the region where he is coming from, or the place where he is coming from, or the language group he is coming from. So that will also serve as his identity. So again, that's under phonology, the sound patterns. So let's go back to syntax. So syntax is the study of sentence structure. So there can be two sentences with the same meaning, but they are arranged differently. For example, I love you. You are loved. So the same meaning. It means that you are loved by me. You are loved by me. I love you. So it means that he or she is being loved by me. The same way with I love you. So it's the concern of syntax. It will study how words are arranged in order to form a sentence. It attempts to describe what is grammatical in a particular language in terms of rules. So if you do syntactic analysis of a certain text, you might be doing parsing, no, in a certain sentence. You will dissect the noun phrase and the verb phrase. So for the noun phrase, you will get the determiner and the subject, noun. And then for the verb phrase, of course, it will start with the verb and then other complements. So that's part of syntactic analysis. So these rules detail an underlying structure and a transformational process. The underlying structure of English, for example, would have a subject, verb, object, sentence order. He eats the ball. So the transformational process would allow an alteration of the word order, which could give you something like the ball was eaten by him. So the same with my example minutes ago. So the same sentences, but the way they are arranged, they vary. So for example, we will do a syntactic analysis of this sentence. He eats the ball. He is our subject. It's the ball is our verb phrase. So he is our noun phrase. It's the ball is our verb phrase. So the verb is it's, then the ball is our uh, another noun phrase, no? This serves as the direct object of the verb it's. So the transformational process would allow an alteration of the word order, which could give you something like the ball was eaten by him. So in this sentence, our subject is still, no, not anymore he, but already the ball. So our subject is now the ball. And then the verb is was eaten, and the ball was eaten. So from the first sentence, our subject is he. And the second sentence, our subject is the ball. So that's syntactic analysis, as simple as that. So we will go deeper to syntactic analysis in the future. So since your subject is just an introduction to the English language system, we are just having an overview for now. You will have a subject as you go through the AB English program. You will have the subject syntax. You will also have phonology and morphology. That's why I said, since you are now taking introduction to the English language system, we are just having the overview of everything. So a little of everything. Next, we have semantics. What is semantics? It is the study of meaning. It is concerned with describing how we represent the meaning of a word in our mind and how we use the representation in constructing sentences. Semantics is based largely on the study of logic in philosophy, since it is associated with the meaning of language. Of course, semantics will also respect or regard the context where language is being used. For example, you are in a technology class discussing about hardwares. So a mouse is is one of the accessories of a computer. But if you are studying biology, you're talking about the kingdoms of animals, then the word mouse will of course mean the scavenger mouse. So I'm always using the mouse as our example since it is very near from me. So, okay, no more. So, so that's all for the levels of linguistics. We will have more discussions in our next lecture videos. Bye for now.